Welcome to Bio with Shruti. This is me, Shruti Pillai. Welcome to another session of biology for competitive exams. This session covers Lucent biology. We are going to cover how liver helps in the process of digestion from the topic system of the human body. Okay, so before beginning with this session, I wanted to tell you that guys, already several parts of this topic system of the human body have been covered by me, so kindly first go through those sessions and then watch this if you're watching this for the first time, because there are many terms like enzymes, glands, and all these basics have been covered by me already. Okay, so for better clarity of this session, kindly watch those previous sessions. All the link will be there in the description, or you will also find them in the playlist section. Also, for the PDF notes, I will be putting a link in the description for all the PDF notes or for all the topics that I'm making, or you will also find it in the Facebook page. Okay, Bio with Shruti. I'll upload all the PDFs there. Fine. So without wasting time, let's continue. There are different organs that help in the process of digestion. Today we will be seeing all important points about liver with respect to competitive exams. First of all, if they ask you this question, dash is the largest gland of human body. Very important. The answer is liver. What are glands? These are specialized cells that secrete or release something. Correct. So when it comes to liver, this is the largest gland of human body. If we talk about the weight, it is around 1.5 to 2 kg, and it secretes a juice called as bile juice. There is this juice, bile juice. It is a digestive juice. I'll show you this image. Just look at this image. This is liver. Okay, here you can see this green color region, that is gallbladder, and here is intestine. Correct. Now this tube, this orange colored tube or pipe, that is called as bile duct. Duct is pipe. Okay, that bile duct passes bile juice. So bile juice is released by the liver, which is a digestive juice. It is released by the liver, by the gallbladder to the intestine. So you can see this connection from the liver, from the gallbladder, and then it is going into the intestine. That also duodenum part of small intestine. Small intestine is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. So when the food enters from the mouth to the stomach, from the stomach to the duodenum part of small intestine, there the bile juice gets mixed with the food when it enters the duodenum of small intestine. What is the function of bile juice? There are several enzymes present in the small intestine. Okay, so what is the function of enzyme? Digestion, that is breaking down of the complex into simple substance. So in order to accelerate this reaction, in order to speed up this reaction of enzymes present in the intestine, we have bile juice. So bile juice helps in this process. Before we continue, if this is helpful, kindly do subscribe and press the bell icon for all the notification. Also, Bio with Shruti is active in all these social platforms. You can send me your queries through the mail ID. Also, you can follow my Facebook page, Bio with Shruti. Now here, guys, you can either take the screenshot, though I'm already providing the PDFs, but you can take the screenshot, or I would really suggest to make a note of all this, because when you write, it stays for a longer time in your memory. So make a note of this. These are the list of all the functions of chemical reactions performed by the liver, which is important for exam. Okay, so I have just put a list of this. I'll be explaining this further. Let's read it out first. It converts excess of amino acid into ammonia. Liver helps in the conversion of amino acid into ammonia. What are amino acids? We already saw. Proteins are broken down into simpler amino acids. These amino acids are converted into ammonia. How? We will be knowing further. Ammonia is converted into urea. Ammonia is much complex as compared to urea. For example, our excreta is initially in the form of ammonia. It is converted into simpler urea by liver. In case of deficiency of glucose or deficiency of carbohydrates, liver also converts protein into glucose. When there is excess of glucose, liver also stores in its simpler form, that is glycogen, for any other use. In case for regulation of glucose, the glycogen is again converted into glucose. So based on the requirement, also in case of deficiency of fats, carbohydrates are also converted into fats by glucose. So these are the list of reaction. Now we will know them in detail. So the first thing, converts excess of amino acid into ammonia. This process is called as deamination. Guys, let's break the term deamination, de and amination. Whenever we add de, it means loss of something, dehydration, loss of water, or decarboxylation, loss of carbon dioxide. De means loss of something or breaking of something. Okay, so deamination is here you're converting or breaking amino acid into ammonia. Amino acid. If amino acid is formed, the process is called as amination. If there is formation, if there is a chemical reaction which involves formation of amino acid, it is amination. If amino acid is broken down and converted into ammonia, that is ulta. Okay, it is called as deamination. Okay, so excess of amino acid, when it is converted into ammonia, it is deamination. Another important thing, now this ammonia is converted into urea by a cycle called as ornithine cycle. What is ornithine cycle? You need not know that much. Just now you have to remember, when there is conversion of ammonia into urea, urea is the simpler form of ammonia, then it is ornithine cycle. Guys, initially the excreta, that is harmful waste present in the body, is in the form of ammonia. It is harmful, it is toxic because it is present in the form of ammonia. This ammonia is converted into simpler form, that is urea, by the liver. So this process is called as, this includes a cycle, that is ornithine cycle. Okay, this urea is further eliminated through kidney. Now look at this image. This is amino acid which is present in the blood. This undergoes deamination. Now look carefully. Amino, where I'm saying deamination, means you're converting amino acid into ammonia. Amino acid means it includes an amino group, that is NH2 group, and a carboxylic acid group, COOH. See, you need not remember everything in so much detail, just understand the basic. Okay, amino acid. So amino is NH2, carboxylic acid, that is COOH. Okay, wherever there is explanation needed, I'll explain them in detail. You just listen now. So this amino acid is further converted into ammonia, that is NH3. This ammonia is further converted into urea, that is NH2 C double bond O NH2. You can see here NH2 and here there is C double bond O. This one. Okay, and then further it is transported into kidney and it is eliminated out. So in humans, if I say specifically, excreta is eliminated in the form of urea. Now first process is over, that is deamination, ornithine cycle, where we are converting the amino acid into ammonia. Then ammonia is converted into urea and it is eliminated out. So this is one function, important function performed by liver. Second is, proteins are converted into glucose. So when there is deficiency of carbohydrate, so in such emergency cases, proteins are broken down into glucose. This is called as carbohydrate metabolism. Metabolism is a biochemical activity when you are making or breaking a molecule. Okay, that is metabolism. You are making glucose here, right? Or you're breaking proteins here. You're breaking proteins to make glucose. Correct? So this is a metabolic activity. So this is called as carbohydrate metabolism because you're making glucose. Similarly, if guys remember, carbohydrate is the main source of energy. So whenever our body needs energy, our body will try to get it from carbohydrate only. In case if there is deficiency of carbohydrate, it goes to the secondary sources like proteins and fats and converts them into carbohydrates. But carbohydrate is the main source of energy. Always remember this. Okay. Now, when there is excess of glucose, complex carbohydrate is converted into simple sugar, that is glucose. And when there is excess of glucose, it is also converted into glycogen by liver. This glycogen is stored within the liver cells. Liver cells are also called as hepatic cells. Hepatic cells or hepatocytes we say. HEPA, hepato, HEPATO. CYTES. Cytes means cells. Hepato means liver cells. So hepatic cells or hepatocytes. So this glycogen is stored in them in the form of reserved nutrients. So for any other further needs. Okay. Also, when there is too much of glycogen, maybe our body needs glucose for any further biochemical activity. So during that case, liver breaks down this stored glycogen into glucose again. It converts this glycogen into glucose. So basically, it regulates the quantity of glucose in the body. There is a certain amount of glucose which is required by the body, so that is regulated by liver by converting the excess glucose into glycogen, and when in need it again converts this glycogen into glucose. So this became the second thing. So first we discussed how amino acids are converted into ammonia, ammonia into urea, and then it is eliminated. How proteins are converted into carbohydrates when in need, okay, that by the liver. How glycogen is converted into glucose, glucose is converted into glycogen to regulate the amount of glucose in the blood or body. Next, when there is decrease of fat in the food, liver also converts carbohydrates into fats. Okay, so in such cases, carbohydrates can also be converted into fat. Besides this, some other important points. There are production of proteins which takes place with the help of liver. There are two important proteins, fibrinogen, heparin. Fibrinogen promotes blood clotting. If there is any kind of injury in your body, blood starts flowing, and after some time you will see that the blood clots. Clots means the blood stops. It doesn't keep on flowing, right? That is because of fibrinogen. That is blood clotting. There is another protein called as heparin. This is also called as anticoagulant, or it is also called as blood thinner. Okay, anticoagulant or blood thinner means it stops blood clotting. It won't allow the blood to accumulate, and clot. For example, within the body, if there is any kind of internal injury, like there are some accidents and there are certain surgeries, there are different cases, right? So inside the body, there should not be blood clotting, because if blood circulation stops, then the person can't survive. So in such cases, especially during medical conditions, doctors use this heparin to stop the blood clotting inside the body. Okay, so I hope this is called as anticoagulant. Anti means anticoagulant, coagulant is blood clotting. Anticoagulant means against blood clotting. It prevents blood clotting. Okay, so there are these two proteins that are produced by liver. It also destroys RBCs. RBCs means, actually the sentence should be, it destroys abnormal or old red blood corpuscles, RBCs, if they are abnormal in shape or damaged. It also reserves or stores iron, copper, vitamin, which is important. It also regulates body temperature. Very, very important. Liver regulates body temperature. Okay. It is asked in MCQs. It also helps to investigate a person's death. So if a person's death is caused due to poison in food, so liver helps. By testing the liver, it helps to investigate a person's death. Why? Guys, this is because liver has this ability to convert the drug molecule into its toxic form. Okay, for example, if there is any drug molecule which is not poisonous directly, okay, it might not be poisonous directly, but when you consume it, it is converted into its toxic form by the liver, and that's how it becomes poisonous. For example, if I take the example of wood alcohol or methanol, okay, so initially it is not poisonous. Methanol is not poisonous, but when you consume it, it is converted into its toxic form by the liver. That's how it helps in this case. Share this to all your friends. Love you. Thank you so much.